Driver CPC Module 4 Test Questions Part 2. Right, so this is page 3. Question 1 is basically the same as the question 1 on page 1. Where would you find the unladen weight of this vehicle? Well, this vehicle is near side, near the rear wheel arch, same as all buses. It's always on the near side of the bus, the curb side. How much extra weight would there be if 45 passengers board? Bearing in mind 15 passengers or a ton, so that would be 3 tons. 45 cases, and 45 cases equals 1,000 kilograms on average. You obviously haven't seen my missus pack, which is another ton. 25 litres of 250 litres of fuel, which is 250 kilograms, equals 0.25 of a ton. So if you have 1,000 litres, you've got another ton. Yeah. Alright, show me how you check your vehicle interior for passenger comfort and safety. We've done this, so you check your overhead racks, your grab rails, ensure they're securely fitted. Again, remember that these are also for coach drivers. Check trims are secure and not loose. Check for any sharp objects on the seats, obviously. Check the floor is in good condition and clean. Check for anything that could cause slips, trips, or soil or damage your clothing. I'm not going to do that because I've already done it. Alright, walk around the vehicle and explain to me what the protections and overhangs there are. Well, think about a bus. Your projections are, let's just turn you around. Projection is a mirror. Your overhangs, anything from the center of your wheel arch to the front of the bus. Unladen weight, center of the wheel arch to the rear of the bus. They're your overhangs. Right, so obviously your overhangs can sweep over curbs when turning, collide with street furniture, pedestrians and other vehicles. Mirror projections can come into contact with street furniture, pedestrians and other vehicles. Good all-round observation is required, as well as effective use of the mirrors to check for rear end sweep. I've said this, I don't know how many times. If you're in training, if you're on the training bus and if you're on the training bus, your mirrors are your best friend. Take the time to set your mirrors correctly, because the amount of times they'll save you, especially in London. We have I've noticed around the country, they don't have the wide angle. I'll just show you. So most of the country just have this bit. So they don't have the wide angle of at the bottom, and I don't know why, because that wide angle has saved my life so many times, or saved the side of the bus so many times. Because I don't know why, if the rest of the country has it, so they tend to put these, they look like bells on the corners of roads, but they're not just bells. They've got a 2-foot concrete lump sticking underneath it. So if you hit it, not only are you going to hit a steel lump, but you're going to rip the underside of your bus off because of the because of the it's connected to the floor by a 2-foot concrete lump. But so take the time to check your mirrors. You know, I'm quite good at taking them off. I've been really good lately. So, you know, everyone I've ever spoken to, takes a mirror off. So if you take a mirror off, don't stress about it. They might scream and shout and dance about you know how bad a driver you are, but everyone has done it, and I mean everyone has done it. Right, let's take a pew. Oh, what have we got now? Alright. So, your protections. Mirrors or your projections, your overhangs are obviously the bit from the tyres to the front and the rear of the bus, and they will overhang. And we do have, at times, have to go over the curb to get around certain tight corners. That's what that was designed for. Right, question 5 is the daily walk around checks. I've got a video, I'm not doing it again. Right, so question 4, page 4, question 1 is about wheelchairs in the vehicle. How docking out, we've done that, I've showed you that one, it's in the previous video. I'll link this, I'll link that in to this video. You are driving a different vehicle for the first time. Show me the practical and visual safety checks you will make to familiarize yourself with a new vehicle. Well, what do you think? The first thing that comes to mind for me is if I'm driving a new vehicle, there might be a new route. What was that? Is make sure you know how big your vehicle is. Because if you're driving an MMC, which is 14'2", and your bridge is only 13'9", you've got a cabriolet and unemployment and possibly very, very injured people. So check the height of your vehicle. On the cockpit drills. So make sure your doors closed. Make sure your seats adjust. And it's this door and that seat. It's not the passenger seat. It's your seat, because it's you that's driving this new vehicle. Cockpit drills include doors. Make sure the doors closed. Make it operating correctly. Seats are secure and correctly adjusted. Steering. There's a button on the floor which releases the steering wheel, and you can adjust the steering wheel back and forwards and up and down. Seat belts. Make sure you give it. If you've got a seat belt on board your bus, give it a tug. Do the tug test to make sure that you've make sure it works, because if you go out on the road and your seatbelt doesn't work, you can vote to give you a tug. It's down to you. Make sure the mirrors are clean and correctly adjusted. I can't emphasize this. Your mirrors are your best friend. So get it in your head. So DSSSM. So that would be doors, seats, steering, seat belts and mirrors. DSSSM. Doors, cab door. You can do your front doors as well. Doors, steering, seats, seat belts and mirrors. Also, you find your safety equipment, because coaches carry first aid kits, buses don't. Make sure you know where your fire extinguishers are, and mine is right there. Emergency fire extinguishers, hammer if appropriate. So this door bus does not have hammers. Does it have hammers? I don't think it does. No. So we have emergency exits in the rear and at the sides, but no hammers for window. No hammers. I don't know. Maybe it's a single decker as well. You don't have them. No, we had them on the other bus. I don't know. It's not on this one. And also make sure, because it's a new bus, make sure you've got enough fuel and add blue for your journey. Question 3. You and your passengers had a comfort break. So they're tending to be a bit repetitious now. Your comfort break, and just before boarding your cross-channel ferry, show me what checks you would make before driving through customs. Right, again, coaches, check your lockers, check your compartments, both internal and externally. Check under the seats, check on top of you. Visual checks, have a look underneath your bus, and from a distance, have a look on top of your bus, because the buggers will hide anyway. Consult your passenger list to ensure correct numbers of legitimate passengers. And if you see somebody on your bus that you don't recognise and you think, I can't remember him getting on earlier, just give them a tug, say, what's your name, mate, put on Canadians, your identification, and check them against your passenger manifest. But be polite. Right. I've got to go. I've got to go in a minute. Yeah, we'll carry this on later. Okay, so question 4. You're driving along a busy main road and are alerted to a small fire which is centered around the fuel system. Show me how you would deal with this situation. Which fire extinguisher would you not use on a fuel fire? Okay, so stop as quickly as you can, safely. It's a main road, not a busy main road. Okay, get all the passengers off and contact the emergency services. Isolate the vehicle, do the fuel cut-off switch. Okay, so isolate the vehicle, disconnect the electrical supply and isolate the fuel cut-off switch. And identify the fuel extinguisher not to be used, which would be water. We carry, what do we carry? We carry foam fire extinguishers on my bus. Is it going? Yeah, water, electrical fires, fuel fires, not the best. I mean, if it's electrical fire, technically, as I spoke to a fire brigade guy once, when he was talking about he was on a fire on the trains, on the tracks. It started as an electrical fire, but once they turned the electrics off, it ceased to be electrical fire. So it's just a fire, so you can deal with water. We don't have that luxury on a bus. Right, from the driver's seat externally, MOD4 is, this MOD4 is very repetitious. So that again is the, from the driver's seat and externally, show me and explain the daily safety check. So that is the first use checks. Video in the description. So again, show me the docking area for wheelchairs. Let's go through it again. Docking area for wheelchairs on this tiny little bus. Let's go from here. Is here. So you come through the door and you'll position yourself in here. Not doing this very well, am I? with your back against the foam pad, facing the rear of the bus. What else does it ask you to do? Anchor points. Some buses have them, some buses don't. Coaches have them, buses don't. Obviously you're going to have the brakes applied. Show the different vehicular access points for a wheelchair user. Well, on this bus it's the middle doors, because that's where the wheelchair ramp is situated. Two buggies occupying the wheelchair area. User wants to use a ball. Okay, done this before. Ask the buggy user if you can fold the buggies up to make space. If not, contact iBus or your wherever you are in the country, your controller, and ask them to hold the space in the bus behind. Let's just read what it says. Ask the buggy user to hold if they can fold buggy to make space. If not, contact iBus and inform them of the situation, and ask if the bus behind can keep the wheelchair area clear. Then inform the wheelchair user that, and hopefully, bear in mind, my bus runs every 12 minutes, and hopefully another wheelchair hasn't got on in the meantime. It happens. It does. It happens. Right, show me how you check all passenger seats for comfort in the vehicle for comfort and safety. It's in the video. It's in my first use checks video. But basically, let's read what it says. The seat should be subject to visual scrutiny, including anchor points to the floor. And I always give the seat, when I do it, I give it a good old tug and make sure it's attached to the floor on every seat. I mean, I don't know why I do. I do. Every seat, I go down the bus and I do it every seat, front and back, and even the ones that aren't attached, like normal seats, like this one here. I'll give it a tug, make sure that they don't come off, and everything's secure. Just make sure the trim's clean and tidy. If the cushion is fitted separately, and most buses are, very few buses these days have bench seats, it must be checked to make sure it will not detach when the vehicle is braking. So again, I tug the back and I give the front a tug as well. So get a hold of it and just give it a tug. Real life, are you going to do that in every? I do. I don't know why I do, but you don't have to. But when you're doing your MOD4, this is an exam. You've got to pass it to become a bus driver. So go through the motions, tug, push, pull, do whatever you need to do. And what I suggest you do is never stop talking, because when you're thinking about, it's an exam situation and you think, oh my God, 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 what am I going to do? The one thing I forgot, and I'll tell you that now, let's just finish this question and we'll go back to it. Where am I? Passenger seats for some recovery. Ensure there are no sharp objects such as loose trim that can snag skin or clothes. Trim should be clean and not soiled in any way. Okay, all right. So when I did my MOD4, I got 95%. 90. It's a percentage grade. I got one question. I got them all right. I just missed one answer out, and the question was the one I did last on the recording. You're driving a different vehicle for the first time. Show me all the practical and visual safety checks that you do. The thing that I forgot is the first thing I showed you. That. and I forgot it because I was on a training. Oops, excuse me. I was on a training bus, and it didn't have a back wall. So on that particular model, the height it was on the back wall, should have been on the back wall, but the back wall wasn't there. There you go. Is that right? Yeah, it was. Yeah. Where are we now? Comfort break. Right. Show me and explain all aspects of safety checks to be made prior to moving away from a bus stop after boarding an elderly, infirm passenger or pushchair user. Okay, so what do? You would make sure, obviously, close your. Some buses you can use the kneeling facility on the bus with the doors open. The older models you can't. So close the doors. Make sure that the kneeling facility wheelchair ramp or the wheelchair ramp is in, or the kneeling facility that you've reapplied it and the bus has been lifted. Make sure all the doors are closed before you move away. Make sure all passengers are reached a secure and safe place, and obviously check your near side mirror for late passengers before moving away. You always get a runner. You always get one coming up your inside, and they'll be on the window as you're running along. I don't know why they want to risk their own lives by doing that, but if you don't see them and they trip, they're going under your back wheel. So that's what I think. That's why they brought in these wide-angle lenses, wide-angle mirrors, just so that you can see better. And they do. They're a great thing. I was thinking about getting some and put them on the cab. Not that particular size, of course, but you know. And question 5 again is the, what do you call it? First use checks. So it's written slightly different. From the driver's seat externally, show me how you explain the daily checks and safety checks you would make for this vehicle before. Right, so the dimensions of the vehicle: passenger capacity, brake, horn, exhaust systems, lights and reflectors, mirrors, instrument panel, warning lights, tyres, wheel nuts, wipers, washers, and air leaks. Air leaks is always the one that people forget. Right. I'm his leader, so I might have to go soon. To go now. Right. That was easy. Oh, just a reminder, my bus has decided to beep. Right, I'll speak to you in a little while. All right. Okay, we're rattling through these today. Page 6. Right, again, it's about the unladen weight. Where would you find the unladen weight of the vehicle? Near side. Can be anywhere along the near side. Extra weight of passengers: 45 passengers is 3 tons. 45 suitcases 1 ton. Show me how you've done all that. Show me how you would check all the seatbelts for their condition. What is the legal requirement governing their use and responsibility in this manner? Okay, buses don't have them. I don't have one in the front of my vehicle. Coach drivers do. So if you go and get your Cat D and you go on do your CPC, you're going to have to do this. So seatbelts are securely fitted to anchor points. Tug to check. The belt is clean and in good condition. Signs must be in place to advise passengers that Signs must be in place to advise passengers that the seatbelts. Doesn't make sense. That the seatbelts worn. Right. If they have seatbelts, they have to wear them. If the seatbelts are fitted, the passenger must use the seatbelt and the driver must give that instruction as also. Drivers should ensure passengers who may be unable to read or understand signs are informed of the legal requirements. Put your seatbelts on. It's like talking to my 8-year-old. No, not round your neck, not under your bum. Yeah, so tug tech, basically to test the whole belt, you pull it all out, tug it as you're releasing it back in, checking it all the time for whether it's for splits and tears. Right, you and your passengers have returned to your vehicle. The 233 to Swanley, is it? Yep. Rest breaks. Show me what checks you would make to the vehicle before driving through customs. Right, check all above the lockers, the compartments, internal, external. Check under your seating area. Check under and onto. Sorry, so have a look underneath the bus, because sometimes there's spaces where you can crawl coaches and whatever. And from a distance, have a look on top, or if you can get on top, if there's a double deck in there, get on top and have a look. Consult your passenger list and ensure correct numbers of legitimate passengers. Question 4. You suspect a brake fault on your vehicle. Show me what checks you carry out to make sure your compressor is working correctly. Any checks you would make to identify air leaks. Well, I did this in the first video, but the air leaks are quite important, because without brakes you can't stop. Without air brakes you can't open your doors. Right, engine's off. Empty the air tanks by pumping the foot brake. Restart your engine and make sure that the compressor recharges the system. So you, on your dash you've got two dials, and make sure that they both go up. What else have we got to do? Yeah, so then what you do then is then stop the engine, apply the foot brake, and listen for leaks. So you can do, as I said, I don't know where the airlines run, so they must go to the four corners, because that's where the wheels are, well, sort of four corners, and the doors. So they must run along the edges, I would imagine. I don't know. But you can go around and you can listen. I've heard an air leak on a bus, and it's really, really quite loud. So it's air under pressure leaving. So you can go around, but you know, if there's water underneath, you might see the air bouncing off the water, you know, making ripples in the water, or you can hear, you can really hear it. And that's how you check if you suspect to have a fault on your brakes. All right, and again, question 5 is the first use checks. Let's have a quick look to see how long I've got left, because I think I've got to go soon, because I've only got 2 pages left. I was going to do 3 videos, but if I can bang them out, I'll bang them out. As you do, I've got to go. Got a minute. Speak to you soon. Okay, page 7 of 8. Question 1 is unloading weight and passengers, 45 passengers. We've done that. Show me. Question 2, show me how you would check the vehicle interior for passenger comfort and safety. Again, we've done that. Check your overhead luggage racks, grab rails, ensure fitted securely. Check trim. Check trims are secure and not loose. Check for any sharp edges and sharp objects. Check floor is in good condition and clean. Check for anything that could cause slips, trips, or could soil or damage your clothing. Number 3, you're parked at a border crossing, coach drivers, and you and your passenger have left the vehicle unattended. Show me what security checks you would make before driving through customs. Again, check all lockers and compartments internally and externally. Check under all seating areas. Check fuel fuel cap hasn't been tampered with. Someone got on the bus. Check under and on top of the vehicle, visually if possible. So get underneath, have a look, go back a distance from the vehicle and look on top, see if you can see anything on top, and if there's anything high around it, get on, like a double-decker bus, get on, ask the driver, you can go upstairs and have a look. Consult the passenger list to ensure correct number of legitimate passengers. Well, correct number and legitimate passengers. So you could have the right number of people. They could have swapped with somebody, you know. You're driving on the motorway and flames appear around one of your tyres. Show me how you would deal with this small fire. Please look at the picture. Which fire extinguisher? We haven't got a picture. So stop as quickly and as safely as possible on the hard shoulder. It's a given. Get your passengers off, out and away from the danger, and contact the emergency services. Isolate the vehicle, disconnect the electrical supply and the fuel cut-off switch. Identify water and or foam as not suitable. There you go. Question 5 again is the first use checks. Ooh, here we go. Page 8. We're smashing through it now. Where would you find the unladen weight of a vehicle? Right. On this vehicle, it's right at the very back. Unladen weight, 7,740 kilograms. 7.5 ton in layman's terms. 15 passenger, this is 1 ton. 15 cases is 1/3 of a ton, 330 kilograms. 100 litres of fuel equals what? 100 kilograms. You're driving a different vehicle for the first time. Show me all the practical and visual safety checks you would make to familiarise yourself with the vehicle. Don't forget the height of the vehicle. Got to get your dimensions in. Do the cockpit drill, including doors closed and operating correctly, seats secure, correctly adjusted, steering correctly adjusted, seatbelt working or fitted, mirrors clean and correctly adjusted. DSSSM. Doors, steering, seats. What was the other one? Seats, steering. Seatbelt. Don't forget your seatbelt. You never remember the seatbelt because we don't have one. And mirrors. Find the safety equipment. First aid kit, fire extinguishers, emergency doors and hammers. We have hammers on this bus. Let's have a look. Brake glass hammers. We have 3 at the rear. One there, one over the back window, and one there. We also make sure we know where our fire extinguisher is, and on this particular bus it's by the front door, so always make sure you know where they are. Enough fuel and AdBlue for the journey. So you can have a tank full of AdBlue and no fuel, you're going nowhere. And the other way around. Drivers, okay, and what am I up to? You and your passengers have returned from the vehicle after a rest break. You suspect that the vehicle may have been tampered with. Show me what checks you would make. You literally check anything that you can get underneath, inside the hatches here. You can look inside those, but anywhere you can think. You know, in silly things like window trim and door trims here. You know, somebody could have taped something to the inside of the door trims. You know, you just don't know. And the more things you reel off, the more chances of you getting it right. As I say to you, when you're doing your Mod 4, don't stop talking. Just keep going, because it's not. It doesn't have to be in order, as long as you get the right answers out. And that, my friends, is the end of page 8. Now, there's no show me tell me on here, and I'm not sure if they've gotten rid of the show me tell me. Oh, I've knocked myself out again. So I don't know, because if you look at the questions, the way the questions are worded, a lot of it is show me tell me. Now, I've got a minute. So, show me tell me stuff. Let's have a quick look at the old sheet. So, how would you check for air leaks on this vehicle? Basically, how we said it before. Check for air leaks, turn the engine off, pump the brakes, restart the engine. How would you check the conditions of the mud guards on this vehicle? You walk around, while you're doing your walk around checks, you give them a kick. Anything hanging off them, make sure they're not hanging off, not flapping in any way. Tell me how you would check the condition of the suspension of the vehicle. So it's more or less, again, it's back to common sense. You'd look for obvious signs of deterioration, sagging, and as part of your daily walk around. So if your vehicle's listing to one side, you know you've got a problem. And that, you know, there's a whole page of those. But a lot of it has been, because they've reworded the questions to make it more show me tell me. I think they've got rid of the show me tell me bits. So there's what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 or 12, 15, 20 odd questions there that have sort of been merged into the CPC. How would you check the condition of the body? Is safe on the vehicle. Walk around, visual checks, looking for damage and sharp edges and loose panels. Common sense. If it's sticking out and it shouldn't be, you know, go and tell your garage supervisor or the engineer. Show me how you would check the headlamps, side lamps, tail lamps are working. Again, switch on the ignition, get out and have a look, have a walk about. It's just basically what you would do if on your first use checks. Right, if you want to see the show me tell me stuff, I've done most of them. You know, I've done most of them in the things. But if you want to see that particular page done again, give me a shout in the comments after this, and we'll endeavour to do it. I don't think we need to, but if you want me to, I will. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.